G'day, Kate Fantanell or Lady Liberty Australia here with a much anticipated update for those following Western Australia's Gun Laws Legal Action Challenge. Now, I had a meeting, as I do every week, with my legal team, and the King's Counsel, who is still working on that written letter of opinion, he has come back with some preliminary advice that I can share with you all today. So, the first piece of advice I have received that I've been told to tell all of you who have been following this is that there is good grounds for multiple cases with multiple applicants. So, this is something back when I first met with the legal team just after the state election in early March. I asked them to look at the regulations and the legislation with me. We went through those and flagged areas that people had raised as a concern and areas that the lawyers thought were grounds that we could challenge things on. So the King's Counsel has gone away and he has come back and he said, yes, there are multiple challenges we can make against these laws through the courts. So, what does that mean? It means that everyone who has contacted me shared the position that you're in, have raised valid issue with the new laws. We are now going through all of those emails and flagging litigants. That is something that I have been doing. And we are looking at getting challenges ready to go to court. There can be multiple applicants on some of those challenges. I'll have to ask my legal team when I can explain that in further detail. But yes, at this stage, we have good grounds for multiple cases with multiple applicants to go to court. Now, because of the gravity of this case and just how big this has become, my legal team and I, we are looking at hiring a specific lawyer to work on your cases. So there will be somebody, one lawyer, responsible for prosecuting these cases through the courts. As I said, I was replying to all your emails. I was giving you advice, obviously not legal advice, telling you to gather your evidence, get your ducks in a row. This is what the lawyers have told me we need. Because of all your emails, we are now sitting on potential litigants who are ready to go. We have done a lot of the work. I know it doesn't seem like much has happened in the last few months, but we have done a lot. We are in a very good position. And my King's Counsel, who is working on that written letter of opinion as we speak, he knows that that is the missing piece of the puzzle that we have paid for. And that's what this whole campaign started out to find the legal advice. He is still working on that, but his preliminary advice is we have good grounds for multiple challenges. I can't go into detail what those cases will look like. I've been told not to put all our cards on the table for the Labor Party and all those interested other parties who have been following with this, so we don't reveal our cards. But that is what we are preparing for. Now, I know my law firm is currently getting their administrative ducks in a row. It is going to be a lot of work. It already has been a lot of work, and I thank them for their efforts. It's very hard to even find a law firm and a King's Counsel to want to take on this case. This is the nature of challenging gun laws in Australia. It's not popular, and you will get piled on if you try and go against the establishment and the old guard. So we are getting ready to go. I'm speaking with my lawyers quite regularly. I speak to them more than I speak to my family back home, but this is very important. The other piece of advice that my King's Counsel has come back with, I know a lot of people are interested in this too, is in relation to class actions. Now, back at that meeting in early March, that was one of the things that came up because my King's Counsel is the only person who has prosecuted a successful class action in Western Australia. It's one of the reasons that I went with him, and no one else wanted to touch this case. So he has come back and said that he does not think that that would be the best use of our time and resources. And I, for one, am relieved because the figures that they were quoting for funding class actions is way more than I have fundraised. And given the pile on that I've had, I'm not in a position to go down this road again. But I'm still working with my legal team on what advice we have, which is at the moment, multiple court challenges is the way to go, not class actions. And just for the record, I'm not um, ideologically aligned with class actions because you are basically getting taxpayers' money back from the state government. It's a redistribution of wealth. And I don't think that that should be the role of the state. I don't think they should be trampling on people's rights to begin with. So we are looking at multiple challenges. And of course, what that means is if and when we are successful in challenging aspects of these laws, that will set a precedent so everyone benefits from the outcome of that case. Just want to be, I don't want to sound like I'm a year 10 legal studies lecturer, but just trying to keep everyone in the loop with what's going on. So that's where we are at. Now, as I said, my law firm is getting their administrative ducks in a row. We are looking at hiring a specific firearms lawyer to prosecute these cases. It has been a lot of work for a very small team. So that is what we are doing at the moment. Obviously, this will be funded by the legal action donations. This is what it is about. So we're getting that ready to go. So we have a dedicated lawyer that can go to court and prosecute just firearm cases, which I will fund. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today. And also for everyone who has emailed me with their evidence, their situation, those emails will, which I have studiously filed like a legal secretary that I am pretending to be to help the cause, they will be passed over to the lawyer who will go through them and will be able to give you legal advice. And if we go to court with any of those cases, you might be contacted. So that is where we're at. And I apologize that I have not gotten back to everybody. It has been a lot. I also wanted to go back and just rehash what we have achieved with the legal action campaign so far. So, yes, we have paid for that letter of opinion. That is still in the works. I empathize with my KC. He has been under a lot of pressures and he's still working through that, but he has given us his preliminary advice, which we can move forward with. We did, of course, send that urgent legal letter to the police minister and the police commissioner before the end of March, saying that we would be challenging some of these laws in the courts and basically told them not to do anything that we wouldn't like. And that, of course, paved the way for the new police minister, Reece Whitby, to publicly apologise to us, which is very stark contrast to the way the former police minister treated us. And that also paved the way for that compensation scheme to be reopened. And he also gave a saving grace for those who own push button release firearms and lever actions who were banned in the regulations just before Christmas. So that is what we have achieved so far. And of course, that compensation scheme is open for 9 months for everybody else. So that is what we have managed to achieve. I know I'm not happy with it either, but it's something. And we were staring down the barrel of nothing before. Now, I know there has also been moves in Parliament saying there's going to be motions of disallowance. There already has been attempts to try. I know there are a lot of politicians who are on our side who are trying to work through the parliamentary process to help us. I just remind everybody that it comes down to votes and who has the numbers in the parliament, and the Greens obviously hold the balance of power in the upper house. So hopefully our good friend Dr. Brian Walker has had a chat to his left-leaning mates. Maybe we'll see something happen, but I wouldn't hold out on trusting the politicians to come and save us. They are the ones who got us into this mess to begin with. So there has been other things happening, and I hate to use this terminology, behind the scenes. There are things that I have made quite a few long distance phone calls back to Western Australia. I've been up at all hours. I've spoken to my friends in the legal profession more than I have my own family at this stage. But I have been doing the ring around just to find out what's going on there, what they're saying in the halls of power, and I can say there are things that are going on behind the scenes that are helping advance our fight, and I cannot wait to tell everybody what those are. I have also, yes, I am in San Antonio, Texas. Yes, the Alamo is here. And I have been talking and reaching out to some of our friends in the United States who I have told them the position that we are in Western Australia, and they have been horrified, disgusted. And anyone who has been to America would know that the people here are so friendly and will do anything to help. So I have been doing some things over here that I'm not going to put those cards on the table yet either, because I'm still in conversations. I have come across to the United States back in 2017, I think it was, and done some time at the NRA. So I have contacts in the shooting organizations over here. It's very different to the organizations back home. So I'm doing some work with them that I hope, and my whole motivation is to do what I can to help those in my community back home in Western Australia. So as soon as I have some more information about that, I can hear the Australian media losing their minds already, but I will let you know what I am doing as an individual to help this case. There are a few other things I just wanted to touch on today. I have been contacted, been told that there are moves to form a new shooting organisation in Western Australia. I was contacted by one of the organisers of that new group to see if I could fund that with the legal action money that I've raised. As I have continued to say, I have been using that money to spend on the lawyers and to fund legal action. Like I said, the letter of opinion, that urgent letter to the police commissioner. Now we are looking at multiple cases with multiple applicants. So we are looking at hiring a lawyer. All of this money has been dedicated to the work involved in legal action. I've had to keep paying these bills that keep coming in to be able to continue this work. I've signed a contract with the lawyers about what that looks like. So there is no funds available to fund a new shooting organisation. And I have already raised concerns about how that looks at the moment. And I'm very, very conscious of the fact that we need strong men or women to lead us. And I just want to caution against anyone who's wants to form a new organization. Tell us what you have achieved for firearm owners then. What is your resume? What have you done? Have you worked with any other organizations? What did that look like? I'm just very conscious of the fact that we need fresh leaders with a new perspective, with the right motivation, with the right skills in order to lead us. So at the moment, as I have said to those who are looking at organizing that new organization, I've shared some of my concerns with them. And no, this is not, I'm not using legal action fundraising money to form another organization. You show us what your mission is, you show us what you're going to achieve and what you already have achieved for shooters. And then we can have a conversation about what my involvement looks like. But I'm just very conscious of the fact that I have worked with a lot of organizations and a lot of the characters in these organizations. And I feel that we need quite a big change if we are going to succeed with an organization that actually represents the people and is for the people, not for themselves. So that's my comment on that. My final comment that I have to make is in, of course, relation to all the media hit pieces that have been out about me. I never would have thought when I first moved to Perth back in 2020 and ran for the Senate, of course, on my pro gun campaign and how I was treated in the media back then by the same journalist, by the way, who was putting out this stuff about me now. I never thought that launching legal action challenges on behalf of my community because no one else was wanted to touch this. None of the shooting organizations wanted to touch this. and that I just happened to be in a position where I could help. I never thought it would lead to me being smeared on the front page of that newspaper, and then my dad to be in a YouTube rabbit hole and see that last piece that was put out about me, and that made a mockery of my relationship with my dad, made a mockery of my new husband's name, made a mockery of my new boss here in the United States, and made a mockery of me. This is about someone challenging tyrannical gun laws in Western Australia. This is what it's about. And this is what happens when you challenge the establishment, the corporate press, the state government, the one party state government, which it still basically is. This is what they throw at you when you stand up for your community who has been oppressed, slandered themselves, treated like public enemy number one. Everything that they've made you feel, they have made me feel 1,000 times over. 1,000 times over. I do not wish anyone to be in the position that I have been in. This has affected my new job, my marriage, my mental health, my physical health, my ability to even think, why am I even here? It has been a lot. And I have to thank everyone who has stood by me during this. Imagine opening up Facebook and seeing she should be hung in the streets. That's what I've had to endure. Phone calls from my dad saying, "What's going on? What's happening?" People are saying horrible things about you when he knows the situation and what it has been like dealing with these bloody lawyers and the position it's put me in personally, professionally. So thank you to everyone who has sent me a nice message. Just check to see if I'm okay. Because yes, I am in America. Yes, I am in Texas. Yes, I am in San Antonio. But every day I wake up and I wish I was in Perth. I wish I was in Western Australia with my people so that they couldn't do this to me, so they couldn't put the stress onto you thinking, what's she actually doing? I wish I could be there. But I'm trying to make a life for myself here in the United States when I had no options, no opportunities in my home country because of my advocacy for gun rights. It has been heartbreaking to see some of the things that have been said about me. And no, I don't want sympathy. I know people are upset. I'm upset that it's taken so long. You should have heard some of the conversations I've had with my lawyers. Because it's not right that we have to work through this system that is against the people and it's against justice. This is what we are operating in, a corrupt state government who has a complicit media who puts out whatever they say, hands them the words. Make it funny this time, though. Make her look real dumb. That's what we need to do to her. And it's because I've stood up for gun owners. Because if I wasn't doing legal action, do you think my lawyers would be calling me? Do you think my KC would be apologizing, saying, "I will get it done, Kate"? Do you think they would have given me the preliminary advice if I hadn't been paying the bills? Do you think I could afford to pay for this if I hadn't raised the money? This is what it's about. I am the client on behalf of 100,000 people who are interested in this case, this high profile, sensitive case, because we are challenging gun laws in Australia in 2025 after what they did to us in 1996. This is what it's about for me. But just so everyone understands, this is taking its toll on me now. I am under unbelievable amount of pressure and I'm trying every day. Every day I just try. And I will continue trying. I will continue pushing my lawyers. I will continue taking these phone calls, being the client on behalf of the people for this case. I will do that because I'm not going to let injustice prevail despite the personal, professional, and everything this is costing me. So thank you. As I said at the start of this, Casey's come back with some good preliminary advice. Multiple challenges. Get ready, boys. Ready to go. And as I have said too, I've already said to my legal team, but I'll say it as well. If I am needed back in WA, if I am needed back in Perth, if there's a big challenge, if there's something they want me there, I will come and front the media. I will come and be there because I am in it until the end. So thank you. I'm Kate Fantanell, Lady Liberty Australia, and I'll provide you more updates as soon as I can. Thank you.